I've been asked several times, and even by myself, why I would want to create a YouTube channel at this stage of my life, at the age of 63. And it isn't because I want to be an influencer or even a YouTube content creator. It's really simpler than that. It's more about the basic need to express yourself. I have a lifetime of experiences and lessons learned and just events that have occurred in your life in the different stages of your life. And that's things I just feel like I want to share. And if it helps someone else not experience the tougher choices I've made in life or learn from my experiences, then that's a plus. But today I just wanted to share with you, why did I want to create a YouTube channel? Welcome back, friends, and if you're new here and you want to be my friend, just hit subscribe and we'll be friends. Hi, my name's Rose, and this is my channel where I talk about everything having to do with retirement. And today I'm going to talk about why I'm talking on my YouTube channel. So the number one reason is probably because I think out loud. I like to rehash conversations out loud. If I had an argument or just a conversation I had with a friend, I just find that I talk through things, and that kind of helps me process that experience. I also like exploring ideas, and sometimes talking out loud those ideas may help sway me one way or the other, whether I'm going to go through with that idea, like this YouTube channel, or if it's not a great idea and I talk myself out of it. Sometimes it's as simple as where I go to lunch. Something may sound good to me, but then I'll talk through it out loud. And I'm one of those people that you might see driving around in my car with my lips moving and there's no one around. And I'm not talking on the phone. Although nowadays with phones, I feel a little more comfortable when somebody looks at you. I can keep on talking because they don't know if I'm on the phone. But in reality, I'm probably just talking to myself and talking through a situation. And number two is my spouse has heard me talk for many years now. And I see that glazed look that people get in their eye when they're done listening to you, but you still have a lot to say. And so I figure, what's a good way to keep my marriage strong and being able to express myself? So if I had my YouTube channel, I could just record myself saying whatever it is I felt the need to say or the need to share, and I can spare someone else in my life from having to hear that. Someone who probably has better things to do than to hear me talk about all kinds of topics, especially when it's the topic of retirement, which is what I focus on because most of my friends are retired, so this is not new stuff to them. Although I do like to ask them a lot of questions, and that ultimately gives me content too, so it's a win. Now, number three, I shared on a prior video, and that's people ask me for my advice. And so I must have something good to say or they wouldn't keep coming back and asking me for advice. So I feel like maybe people that I don't know might want that advice as well, and maybe they don't. And as I said in a prior video, you don't always have to take my advice, but it gives you something, food for thought, let's say, and you can weigh it with other opinions that you have and make the best decision on whatever it is that you're inquiring about. But getting someone else's perspective on a situation is really helpful, and especially when it's somebody that's on YouTube, you don't have to feel vulnerable in listening to their advice, and you don't have to feel like you owe them anything, like a thank you even, for taking their advice. And it's a good way to learn from other people's experiences. So I guess that's one of the driving points for me on this channel, is to just share my experiences. And like I said, hopefully it helps somebody. And the fourth reason is why I picked the topic of retirement is because when you're retired, you've got a lot of time now to really reflect on your life and to think about the things that brought you joy, that didn't work the way you wanted it to, maybe plans that were in place that just backfired on you, and even mistakes you've made in your career. Being retired also gives you the time to be able to think about what really matters in your life and to share those experiences with people who haven't gone through that yet, people that are working and thinking about retiring, who may be watching this channel. It also helps you realize what really matters in your life. Family, friends, experiences, not necessarily money. I know everybody talks about money in retirement, but what really matters in retirement isn't money. It's purpose. It's having a reason to get out of bed. money doesn't give you a reason to get out of bed. Now, it's helpful, don't get me wrong, and I've said this before, money is important, but it's not the most important thing. And I find that talking to other retirees and talking with my friends, that's one of the top things. Everybody talks about their health is number one, but also purpose, having a reason to exist, especially when you're retired and you don't have a job anymore. That gives you a calling, let's say, a reason to get out of bed every day. Having the time to reflect also makes you realize that you wish someone would have shared certain information with you. And that's what these YouTube videos can do, is you have this wealth of information that you can tap into and hear what other people have said and what they're going through. And that's information that you wouldn't have gotten if you wouldn't have got on YouTube. Now, the fifth reason, which was really surprising to me, is that apparently I've got a lot to say. As an introvert, and I've shared, it's hard to share with people when you see faces and people in a group. And the bigger the group, the harder it was for me to speak up or to share information. But it's a lot easier when you're just talking to your camera. And I hope people are watching, but that's not what's in my mind, is like how many people are watching. It's more of just me having a conversation with my best friend, or just meeting somebody for coffee and talking about life and what's happened and catching up. And I like the fact that a lot of the channels I follow a lot of channels on retirement, and that's kind of what made me want to do this too, is that they're not perfect. They're not these polished videos with all these different cuts and music blaring and fast pace. It's a retired person talking to a retired person. I'm sitting down with that person too. I feel like when I'm in the morning drinking my Diet Pepsi because I don't drink coffee, it's like sitting down with that person, and I get to know that person a little bit. Even though I don't really know that person because it's a YouTube video, I feel a connection with a lot of these people, and you can comment and you can have a conversation with them. So even though you don't know them, as I say, in real life, you feel like you have someone that you can communicate with. And so I get the feeling that I'm sitting down talking to somebody because they're not polished. They're stumbling over their words. They may use the wrong word, or their video may be a little shaky, or the editing is a little choppy. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I just feel like that's a genuine person that knows what I'm experiencing at this stage of my life, and I can learn things from them. And the sixth thing, which is really important to me, is that maybe somebody out there needs to hear what I have to say, or what the other YouTubers have to say. And I don't expect everyone to agree with what I say, but maybe it's something they need to hear because they're going through something. Maybe they're thinking about retirement and they're not quite sure if it's the right thing to do, and they can watch videos and learn something about it. I've been retired for 11 years. I've got 11 years of experience that I could share with somebody who's thinking about retiring, or somebody that's just in the first stages of retirement, to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and whatever you're experiencing right now in retirement is going to change and evolve over the years that you are retired. Maybe they're feeling lonely and they just want someone to connect with. And I'm not sure why, but this face is one of those faces that people seem to be drawn to. They want to connect with me. I seem to have one of those faces that is approachable. Just a quick story. This happened a long time ago before I was retired, but we were in New York City. We're from Arizona. We were in New York City with some friends that lived there, this couple. And we're in the subway, and you hear stories about the subway, right? Don't make eye contact, don't look vulnerable, don't stand too close to the track, those kind of things. And so I know I was anxious standing down there, but we were standing, the group of the four of us standing there, and this couple who was clearly from out of town, maybe even out of the country, I don't remember because it was so long ago, came up and asked me a question, and I think it was directions or something. And I smiled and I said, "I'm sorry, I don't live here, but they do." And they said, "Oh, you were the most approachable looking person here, so we thought you lived here and that you were friendly enough that we could ask you a question." And that stuck with me, that even though I think I have the resting bitch face, apparently it's an approachable resting bitch face. So I just have one of those faces that people like to talk to, and hopefully people like to tune into my YouTube channel because I have that face that looks approachable or understanding or has experience and can share that experience with you. I also think people are looking for encouragement, and I hope that my videos encourage you to go into retirement with an outlook that's positive, and to know that you can make friends, new friends, because we transition from friends, work friends, into retirement friends. It's just a natural thing that happens, and many videos are out there about that. I hope I can encourage you that when you first retire, that experience you're feeling right then, whether it's loneliness or excitement even, or that you don't know what to do with every day, that will change, that will evolve, and that you can take some control over your life to make your retirement what you want it to be. And also, I hope that we can share a laugh or two now and then. I mean, just going through life, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to know that even when things happen that are embarrassing, or even that hurt at the time, that you can laugh about it later down the road, and that somebody else may have gone through it and it's funny now. It's funny to them, because reflecting on something and being able to laugh about it is healthy. The seventh reason is I want to build a legacy of something that I can leave my grandkids, because you know, I'm 63 and my grandkids are 4 and 6 right now. So I don't know that they're going to remember the grandma that I am right now. I don't know that I'm going to remember the grandma that I am right now later down the road. And and I would like to leave them something that they can look back on and see me and remember me, and maybe remember the me I was when they were younger, because I'm going to change over time. And I hope that I live a long time. But if I'm not around when they are dating, or when they're in college, or they get married, or they have kids of their own, I would like them to have something they can look back on. And maybe they could see my personality as it was, you know, now at 63, because maybe when I'm 83, I'm not going to have that personality. I know, looking at my own parents, you know, they're in their mid-80s right now, that they're not the same parent that I know when my son was first born, you know, and they evolved through life, and they're not as carefree, they don't laugh as much, they don't experience as much, they like to be home, and they're not out doing the things that I remember them doing with me and my son when we were younger. And so it's a good way to capture that personality as well. The number 8 reason is, on my channel, I'm not looking to teach anybody anything. I'm just looking to connect. So I'm not presenting myself as an expert on anything except my life. I'm an expert on everything I've experienced. I'm an expert on everything that I saw that formed my life into be what it is right now. But other than that, I'm not trying to be an expert on any one thing at all. I'm just another person walking through life in retirement in a specific area in Arizona, in the Valley. And I live in a 55+ community, an active adult community. And those are the things that I talk about and that I want to share with people. And I hope people want to hear those things. But I am in no way an expert on the 55+ lifestyle, just the lifestyle that I've experienced in the development that I live in. And some days on this channel, I'll have some advice based on my experience, or on something that I've witnessed, and even some research that I've done. But some days I might just have questions. I have a question that I want to pose out there to get other people's point of view. Or maybe it's a question that I posed to my friend group and got a response and found that humorous or enlightening and want to share that information. And of course, some days I'm just going to tell a story about my life and hope that people find it interesting, or maybe they can learn something from it. So, did I answer the question, why did I start a YouTube channel? Because after my lifetime of learning and growing and experiencing things, I feel like I want to share that information with people that aren't in my life right now, that already know these things. People in my life right now know what I was like as a child, know what I was like as an adult, as a single parent, as a working adult, as now a retiree. So this kind of opens it up to people who don't necessarily know me, that don't know my background, but might learn something or understand something about themselves by watching me on my videos. And who knows, maybe it will encourage you to start your own YouTube channel, because you have life experiences to share that are totally different from mine, and it would be a totally different perspective on the same stage of life. So I hope that you will subscribe, comment, like, and share, and join me on my journey of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, I hope that you get something out of it. And the best way to get something out of it is to comment and to get a conversation going, not just with me, with anybody else reading the comments. Because even if somebody doesn't subscribe, they may read your comments. They may not comment at all, but it might help them in their life. So if any part of this resonates with you or encourages you to start your own YouTube channel, or you have your own YouTube channel, I would love for you to comment and have a conversation with me about it. What is it you talk about? What would you talk about? And what works for you if you do have a channel in making your channel successful? So I want to thank you for joining me. If you watched this all the way through, especially I want to thank you. And I really appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing and commenting. It really does mean a lot to me. It lets me know that there's people out there that are actually watching and maybe getting something from my videos. But most importantly, I just want to say, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you real soon.